Hey guys, this is Al. It's Sunday 20th of September and I thought I'd give you a quick update on the cars, particularly the Corniche and also my SL500 which just came out of the body shop as well. So let me just turn the camera around and I'll show you what's going on. Alright, so as you can see, I haven't done any work on this car. This has mainly been the kid, but he's diligently working away. He's actually working on two projects right now. He's got this 1991 350 SDL 126 Mercedes, and he's putting in an OM606 engine. This is the engine from a 99 Mercedes E300 TD. It's a double overhead cam engine mated to a 5-speed 722/6 automatic transmission. So he's working on that, and while he's doing this, he's also working on my Corniche. And you can see pretty much everything off the top of the manifold is off, and we're pretty much ready to get the intake manifold off the car. So we had this car up in the air and we were kind of in two minds about how to get the engine, how to get the heads off. It's really tight down there in the, exhaust manifold area. So we were thinking maybe dropping the subframe might be the way to go, but then we looked at the manual and the manual pretty much said that you don't need to do that. So we decided to follow what the manual says, and we're doing just a basic, removing the intake. Everything comes out the top of the engine, so hopefully everything goes well. I noticed when the car was up in the air that it was definitely leaking, having an external coolant leak from the passenger side cylinder head. So we're hoping that the studs aren't pulled or anything else like that, but we'll see what goes on once the head comes off. This is a nice little deal. So you know how expensive these overhead lights are for the cars, those snap-on lights. I bought this deal for 20 bucks at Costco. It's just basically a fluorescent tube light. It's pretty rugged. It's made out of plastic, so it doesn't break that easily, and we just hung it off the hood, and it works really well. I mean, it's actually twice as bright. It's got two LED strips, so it's twice as bright as a regular light. It really lights up the engine bay. We've also got the same thing on the 126 as well, so you can see how much of a how well it lights up the we had a little bit of a mishap. So, the kid was backing up the car, and he hit the door on the way out, so he made a quick ding over here and damaged the bumper. So we had that repaired. They ended up having to obviously take the hardtop off and then repaint the entire quarter panel so that they could match everything and make it look good. Only a couple of weeks ago I had the hood repainted because there was a little bit of hail damage on there, and also the front fender, which if you saw in a previous video, the front fender was all sunburn, so I had that repainted as well. So between that and the work on the back, I mean, the car is pretty much looking really good now, so I'm real pleased about that. So at some point I'm gonna take the hardtop off, because the weather's broken right now. It's around 24 Celsius over here in Texas, so it's glorious. And I'm going to take this hardtop off, and the hardtop off, and start using this car as a convertible. So that's a nice touch. Hey guys, it's almost midnight on Monday, and we just got done pulling one of the cylinder heads off. In the last video that I showed you, the intake manifold was mostly off, but it still took some considerable effort trying to get that out, and then we had a hell of a job trying to get the cylinder head off. Eventually it came out, but it was seized up against the head studs, and the head studs had some rust around them. It was just not wanting to play. So I've got Vaughan here with me. He's holding the camera right now. I'm going to swap it out with him, and he can talk through some of the challenges that he went through. I was just giving him an extra pair of hands, so I really wasn't doing much. So yeah, so tell us what was going on with this, first with the intake manifold and then the cylinder head.
So it took me a while to learn where all these brackets and whatnot are. There's lots of fuel lines, hydraulic lines from these pumps, wiring, coolant pipes that go to the thermostat housing. All that had to be removed. Mm-hmm. And then on this head, there's a crankcase ventilation system, very similar to what's on the front of this where the oil fill is. I'm guessing they're very similar heads, mm-hmm. left to right. So, if you swap that one around on there, that port would be on the back. But once I got all those bolts and whatnot off in this tight area behind the firewall near this evaporator case, we started lifting the head, and as you can see, all these head bolts have a pretty significant amount of rust and corrosion around them. So it was quite a struggle to lift the head up past that. Mm-hmm. Definitely needed another set of hands for that. But
so in the end, what we end up doing is, I got on one side with both my hands. He got on the other side.
We actually had to use a piece of wood to help.
Yeah, use a piece of wood to wedge it in between to help it.
Yeah, you can definitely see on this one the amount of corrosion. Mm-hmm. It's thicker than the threads. So, mm-hmm. And if you look down in this cylinder, you can see these small traces that go through the cross hatching. Hardly big enough to catch your nail on, but that looks like where the head gasket failed to the cooling system.
So you think it was the two back cylinders that failed?
At least. We haven't rotated the engine to inspect these, but you can see where water had been pooled up from mm-hmm. Being shut off, and it only sat for 2-3 days. Mm-hmm. But you can see the marks if you zoom in there. Mm-hmm. But like I said, it's not big enough to catch your nail on. We've sprayed WD-40 down these just to protect it mm-hmm. for now, so we can get back up here and wipe it out tomorrow. I think just wiping that out with some oil will be enough, as mm-hmm. we don't really want to pull this engine apart. Mm-hmm. We're just trying to fix the top end. Okay, so let's take a look at the head gasket and see what was going on with that. Yeah. So we're looking for a failure on this side of the gasket, but I don't know, not a whole lot to see. I don't know if it's anything worth sharing. Honestly, yeah. So here, give me the light. Good. All right. So I'm not seeing any break in the firewall on any of these any of these cylinders on the head gasket. You can see that there's no real damage, but it may have been that the engine just got so hot that the cylinder head warped a little bit, kind of let some water through. So I'm not sure exactly how it failed, because I don't see any kind of damage. Do you see anything, Warren? Nothing's sticking out at me. I mean, it's really hard to tell. Yeah. Might be something. Yeah, it's hard to tell. Mm-hmm. But it definitely failed, and it was leaking coolant on the outside. So, and that would be here. Yeah. I mean, it's a mess from pulling it. It's poured oil and coolant out even after we drained it. Right. All right. So we're going to try to get the other head off. I don't know. You thinking we can do it on Monday? Yeah, I think so. So we can get the cylinder head off on Monday. We can send this out to the machine shop. They'll be able to inspect it, see if they need to resurface it. They'll be able to tell us what size valves we need to get, because we need to order those from the UK. And
and then we'll just put the parts order in while they work on the head. And I guess we'll be spending some time cleaning up the block. The block's filthy as well.
And possibly replacing the head studs.
Yeah, we may have to replace the head stud. Now, from what I've read, the thread pitch on the head studs is somewhat unique. So that's something to think about, Vaughan. That we may need to kind of plan that, because I've heard it's a real tough job to do, and it may require helicoiling.
Great.
But yeah, so we're making progress, heads off, and we'll keep you guys updated. All right, thanks very much.